My name is Pam Dake, and I work for Menlo Security, a cybersecurity company that actually has just surpassed 100 million ARR. So we have hit a significant milestone. But myself personally, I have been in enablement, I'd love to say, before it was even called enablement, before it was a category. But that doesn't mean I wasn't involved in all of the different facets of enablement, whether that's training, whether that's coaching, whether that's aligning collateral and aligning teams. Before Highspot, we were using a variety of different tools, everything from the Google Drive to Google Sites to a separate meeting intelligence tool. And at one point in time, we had actually had a different LMS system that was also focused on enablement teams, but they weren't seeing the traction and the use out of that. We definitely saw that there was a gap. Once that tool went away, once people weren't using that tool, and they weren't having success in finding what they needed on places like the Google Drive or Google Sites. So Highspot for us was a true game changer in really being able to provide that single seamless lens for our sellers to find what they need, when they need it, know how to use it, which was clearly a gap previously, and then get the training and coaching that they need in order to be successful long-term in leveraging that information in productive customer conversations. As I look towards the future for what is possible for enablement, I think AI takes a front seat with that. And I think it's everything from what Highspot is looking to do, which is really put together and connect the dots for different materials, whether that's governance, whether that's the opportunity to better help people self-serve and have the information that they need that actually AI can synthesize and pull that together for folks, or whether it's really elevating the conversation. How do we get more intelligent with how we're engaging with our prospects and with our customers that really puts us in the position of value with them? This year, our company, we did a significant relaunch last year, which is actually why I was brought on board. I've been with my company now only about 10 months, so coming up on a year. Was brought on board as they look to relaunch the company, have a very successful sales kickoff, and make sure that they set in motion all of what was needed to happen from a go-to-market standpoint to support that relaunch and that reposition of the company. So there was a significant focus on launch, and when it comes to this year, it's really better refining that. The launch was successful. Now let's make sure we're really customizing our conversations and our ability to be impactful for our customers in the long term with how we're really setting up the significance of focusing in on not just what is helpful today, but how we're able to drive their business forward tomorrow. With Highspot, absolutely critical for us to be able to leverage an all-in-one enablement tool to not only serve up what's needed from both an internal standpoint for what our users are consuming to how they're now engaging externally with prospects and with customers, to now also ensuring that they're actually having really productive conversations with things like meeting intelligence, something new that was brought on board with Highspot, and the ability that we have to holistically look at what our reps are doing and ensure that they're able to be successful as we think about what we do from a back office team standpoint in developing and creating the right collateral to support them. Meeting intelligence for Highspot, I think, is a really game changer, and I think is something that was super significant for Highspot to bring on board because it does have that full holistic lens of all parts of the business, from a collateral standpoint to a performance opportunity to take a look at what our sellers are doing. With meeting intelligence, we have seen some early successes with folks being able to super quickly follow up on meetings that have just happened because of what's produced from an email as a final output for what meeting intelligence does. And so with that opportunity, we've had the ability to keep conversations going that, as a rep, maybe I'll follow up tomorrow, maybe I'll follow up the next day, whereas why not do it right here and now? Because you have the meeting not only synthesized, but pulled together in a really helpful, easy to use, customizable email that you can send right from the tool and include collateral that's in Highspot. So you get to see the engagement from customers right away. Considering we just brought on board Highspot literally 60 days ago, the results that we've seen have been truly significant with the ways that people have engaged with the tool to actually being in the bright green almost if it comes to the solution health for the tool. People are really going into the tool not just once, not just twice, but 3 times in those 60 days because they're able to find what they're looking for. And when it comes to the ability to better coach and guide our reps and our managers to help them be successful in being really good coaches, they have the data, personal scorecards there. They have the information that is pulled together from meeting intelligence, from what conversations are really happening that have been productive for our reps. So it allows them that opportunity to really coach and not just dig into deals and be super rep, if you will. So it's set in place for us the ability to plant the seeds of what's going to be really strong coaching in the future. Everything from onboarding to ongoing education to literally applying the opportunity for them to coach right then and there with meeting intelligence. As an enablement leader, leveraging data is critically important to proving value and to proving success. And so when we think about the data that's really important, obviously the business is aligned and driven by the lagging indicators. But as that word suggests, it's a lagging one. All right, how did we get there in the first place? And it's all about our, I'll call them leaning and leading indicators that will help us have better insight into really what is happening today. And leading indicators, I consider them things like sales stage progression, how we're doing overall in handovers from team to team, and you can see the days, where do things sit, how do we move things forward. And then as we think about the leaning ones, this is where Highspot, I think, will make a huge difference for us. How are people engaging with our content? How does that help us as we think about early stage conversations and getting to not just that first meeting, that second meeting, but that critical third meeting where they're already really starting to see value? And I think that's where it's critically important to leverage that leaning data to really showcase, okay, this is now going to impact stage durations. We're starting to see them shorten. And then how does that overall impact the lagging indicators, which is literal sales cycle durations and what your revenue is and how many people are able to achieve their quotas. One of the bigger challenges that I've had recently has been in aligning the executive teams in order to really truly understand how to be impactful, leveraging the go-to-market motion in a way that not only lands the big deal, but also allows us to have a very productive and valuable customer relationship long-term. And so for me, it's been gaining the opportunity to have that meeting with all of these critical stakeholders, have them see value each and every time that you meet with them so that they feel like they're getting something out of that meeting where it's actually really driving the business forward in ways that they may not have seen initially. And so for me, it's been setting up a recurring meeting with those folks who are the most senior and executive in the company to be able to drive forward what sales needs, which actually is driven primarily from what really our customers are looking for from us as a company. The advice I'd give other enablement professionals is, first and foremost, don't give up. You're doing the right things to really connect the dots for what your frontline sellers, your frontline customer support people are doing. Be tenacious about how you're able to make a difference with aligning their internal stakeholders and really driving forward the programs that will make a difference, not only in the short term and the long term. So as you consider the strategy that you're building, ensure that you have your other internal stakeholders aligned, and do that in ways that create value for them so that they can see the impact. One of the things that we talked about earlier was data. Leverage the data that you have on hand. Leverage tools that provide you with that really impactful data, that provide you with insight into the leading indicators that will actually drive the business longer term with the lagging ones. So the bottom line is really taking an outside-in approach with what you're doing from an enablement lens. How does this impact my customers? Therefore, how am I able to build the best programs that I can that will enable my internal stakeholders, my internal teams, in order to be successful and provide value to our customers, not only in the short term with what wins they're able to achieve, but how they're able to grow and develop the relationships over time. If I had to describe Highspot in one word, I'd actually buy myself a hyphen. And I would say Highspot is a game changer. Highspot really allows you to be able to provide the materials that your sellers are looking for, support them with really guided experiences for how to leverage those materials, whether that be through training or whether that be through a sales play. And you're also able to check and understand better what is resonating with your customers. Customer engagement, data feedback from that, as well as really being able to see real time through meeting intelligence what's actually happening in your conversations. Leveraging Highspot is truly the game changer that I know a lot of enablement professionals are looking for.